In this demonstration, I'm going to introduce you to Muzzy Lane Author. We'll begin with an overview presentation to give you the outline, scope, and history of Author. Then I'm going to show you some brief examples of each of the Author core templates: SmartChat, SmartPic, Insights, and Align. Along the way, we'll discuss organization and collaboration, as well as assessment and integration. So what is Author? Author is an easy-to-use, cloud-based authoring service to create game-based learning activities that encourage higher-order thinking and help students practice a skill, role-play an experience, and apply what they've learned. Most game-based learning has focused on measuring students' comprehension of materials and knowledge. For instance, multiple-choice questions, flashcards, but our research has showed that game-based learning can be particularly effective for encouraging higher-order thinking, and being able to auto-assess students' ability to do so is where we see our niche. So we're focusing on the higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So Author is really good when you want students to practice a skill that they are trying to learn. And you do this by setting out environments and giving them goals to accomplish, and then measuring whether they're able to use the skills they've learned in order to accomplish those goals. With that, they are applying the information in that scenario rather than just checking their comprehension or knowledge of it. And this can be really useful when students are trying to acquire real-world job skills, because it helps them role-play an experience in an environment that they might be going to be in on the job. And this is a much quicker, easier, and faster way to play a day in the life of a nuclear physicist, for instance. So Author came out of our research for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to study the potential for game-based learning to improve student outcomes for non-traditional students. As you can see on this graph, 27% of all students are taking at least one online class, and that number increases for students who might have taken a break from their education, older students, students who are working or balancing their family life. Interviewing these students, what they told us was work-life balance was really hard, and they just had these brief moments to engage with their course activities, course materials, and they told us that they often used their mobile devices in order to engage with the materials. We looked at their student journeys, and we tried to identify different places where they could be served. So on the job, real-world job skills is something that these activities can help them experience. Capstone achievements, capstone activities that test their entire set of knowledge from the course. Study skills were particularly important, and motivating and engaging activities. We examined fully enabled courses, existing course materials, and in those course materials we tried to find those opportunities that we had identified where game-based learning could make a difference. We called these micro-learning opportunities, and from these micro-learning opportunities we built a set of templates, of core templates in Author that were designed to fit within existing course materials without being disruptive. And because they are content agnostic, they could be used in any different subject area, allowing game-based learning to get into a lot of places where previously it hasn't been feasible to to put them. Author is browser-based, so it works on any device in any location. So you can play Author activities without having to download any app, without having to download a plugin, for instance. And it integrates with all sorts of learning management systems like Blackboard for assessment. On this slide, you can see an activity called diagnostic imaging, which we're going to take a look at in a few minutes. In Author, and on the right, you can see it in Canvas, and it uses LTI integration in order to send all sorts of usage statistics and single sign-on data to the LMS. We've been making software at Muzzy Lane for over a decade, and a lot of our work for partners has been custom activities, games where you might have multiple players, multiple turns, a rich 3D environment. And Author is designed to still serve those sorts of partnerships. But where we really saw the opportunity was in making do-it-yourself tools. So rather than having to rely on us to develop activities, longer activities, we want to have subject matter experts and instructional designers be able to create game-based learning activities. This will allow them to be developed faster and cheaper, and allow the institutions to continue to control them through the life cycle of the product. So Author serves projects all along this continuum, but where we really see the opportunity is in the top right quadrant. To recap, Author needed to fit with existing course materials to take advantage of these micro-learning opportunities to help students. We wanted to flatten the learning curve for students, and what I mean by that is they had to be easy to learn. We didn't want to waste valuable course time teaching students how to use these activities. We wanted them to be able to turn on their computer or phone or tablet and immediately know what they were doing. And to do that, we borrowed the aesthetics of, for instance, text-based conversations, which would immediately be familiar to most students. We also wanted to flatten the learning curve for the educators who would be building these activities. So there is no coding required whatsoever in order to build Author activities, and you know, it will take hours or days rather than weeks, months, or years to develop these activities. We wanted to meet the needs of non-traditional learners, and to do that we wanted Author to be geared towards giving them real-world job experiences, practicing on-the-job skills, and let them engage with it on their schedule in these short bursts of micro-learning. And we wanted Author to be able to scale so that game-based learning, that the benefits of game-based learning could reach areas that cost, control, and time previously stopped them. So here are the core templates, and again, they really excel when you want to practice a skill, apply what you've learned, or role play a job. And today I'm going to show you Align, SmartChat, Insights, and SmartPic. If you have any questions, my name is Jonathan Kreisky. I am the training manager at Muzzy Lane, and please feel free to email me or my colleague Jeff Fisk. If you go to author.muzzylane.com and click on Not Registered, you can create your own free Author account to try out different demos and try creating activities for yourself. Here I am in Author. I'm in a project, and I've got 4 demos that I want to show you today. The first one, diagnostic imaging, is built with SmartChat, one of our core templates. It was built as a demo for a medical assistant course, And in it, we are going to identify different diagnostic imaging procedures and then interact with a patient, and we're going to be judged on those two areas. So here we have some images and text talking about the history and risks of diagnostic imaging. And we arrive at work to discover two mislabeled files. Both videos are of patients' hearts, but they are from different imaging techniques. So we're presented here with two little animated GIFs, one of which is of an ultrasound, and the other one, we'll find out in a moment, is of a MRI. Here we get a little bit of feedback, which can be configured. And it's giving us feedback here saying that the other one was taken with an MRI machine. And as you can see here up at the top, I've earned a point towards identifying procedures. Next, we're going to talk about which mechanisms are used to construct images for these different types of diagnostic imaging. And the nice thing about SmartPic, number one is that you can use images as answers. The other thing is that you can have multiple prompts with the same set of answers. So for the first prompt, echoes are used to construct an ultrasound, and then it's giving us another prompt saying non-ionizing radiation, so that would be an MRI. I'm going to get this one wrong. What kind of imaging uses electromagnetic radiation? Well, let's say nuclear medicine. So that wasn't correct. And this one's radioactive elements. So there we had a little sound effect to add a little environment, engaging environmental sounds of a phone ringing. We're now going to speak with a patient over the phone about a barium swallow that they will be doing. And we're going to talk with them about which allergies might interact with the medicine being used in a barium swallow. And here, lactose is not a problem for this procedure. So in this, I got one of the identifying procedures questions wrong, and I got all of the patient interactions correct. And so at the end of the activity, I'm going to go ahead and get feedback based on my performance. So here it says your ability to identify procedures could use some work. That's because I got 4 out of the 5 questions right on identifying procedures, but I did a good job demonstrating excellent patient interaction skills. So as you recall, I mentioned that Author is really good at helping students practice skills. So as they answer questions, they can earn points towards objectives that have been set out. And at the end of the activity, they're going to get feedback telling them where they can use some improvement. So that is the SmartPic template. Next, I'm going to go ahead and show you the SmartChat template. SmartChat is really, really good at setting up role-playing activities where you put the student in an environment and give them objectives in that environment to succeed. This one's got some poor voice acting. I helped out with this one, so I apologize in advance. So we first set up our avatar, and this is going to be interacting with other characters through the activity. And here we've got a cast screen. So these are the different characters we're going to interact with. You can upload whatever assets you'd like for different characters that you want your user to interact with.
Today is the big day. You're interviewing for a tech trainee position at Tech City. You have a meeting with Rob Bigglesworth, the manager at the local Tech City branch. Good luck. You're going to need it.
And you'll notice it put in my name there, and I can look at any point at the different characters I'm going to interact with. So here's an image. to set the scene. And we're going to get some questions.
Oh, hello.
Oops.
Thanks for coming in to interview for the tech trainee position.
As I said, shoddy voice acting. I'm going to go ahead and mute it for now. So as we continue, we're going to get some questions, some different responses, different dialogue responses that we can say that can that will make students consider how to act professionally. So perhaps, on our first time meeting the boss, saying, "If you say so, you da boss," might not be the most professional response. So let's click on that anyway. And as you can see, I lost 5 points towards professionalism. So as we continue in this, we're going to be judged on our professionalism, and then later on in the activity, we will be asked to identify different pieces of technology. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and let's go ahead and take a look under the hood at how this activity works. So I'm going to go ahead and edit it. Here you can see the main narration, and if I click on any one of these nodes, I can expand it and change what we've got. Let's change this. And why don't we add some more text here, and we can have this text to be spoken by one of the characters, or we can have it be delivered by an unnamed narrator. As you can see, as we mentioned, you can add images in here. Down here is a piece of descriptive text. Author is WCAG 2.0 AA compliant, which means that for students who might have vision disabilities, Author always is built from the ground up to accommodate these learners. So whenever you have an image, you can put in some descriptive text. So if they were to hover over it or go to it on screen reader software, it would read out what that image is. You can also add audio, as you saw earlier, or heard earlier when we played this activity. And all of our templates are also keyboard accessible, meaning you can play them just using keyboard commands. The other thing I want to show you here is that you can add all sorts of rich multimedia. So why don't we go ahead and add a video in here. So I just clicked this little video icon, and you can use pretty much any video streaming service to grab images or videos. An institution probably would want to use a professional video hosting service, but for right now, I've gone ahead and just found this retail job interview video on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and copy the URL and paste it in here. And if I wanted to, I could type in some descriptive text. You probably want to put closed captioning on the video that you use. And now let's go ahead and save the activity. Here I can put in a message saying what I've done if I'm collaborating with my colleagues. And let's go ahead and preview now. One of the main big benefits of Author is you can always go back and forth very quickly to see what the changes you've made in the editor, how they play in the activity by previewing it.
Today is the big day. You're interviewing for a tech trainee position at Tech City. You have a meeting with Rob Bigglesworth, the manager at the local Tech City branch. Good luck. You're going to need it.
And here we have the YouTube video, which will immediately play.
Hello everyone, it's Karen San Diego, and today I'm going to be doing a video that I think can be really helpful, and that is how to get a job. Now,
And all of the other changes we made also have
You walk into
have gone
Oh,
through.
hello. Thanks for coming in to interview for the tech trainee position.
So in a nutshell, that is SmartChat. I think one of the really great things about SmartChat is the what you see is what you get interface, where you, in order to set up how the narrative will play out. And just one more thing here, if we look at these here, you can see the points that you would earn. Next, let's take a look at an align activity. These are a little bit different. So imagine that you want to engage your students with a quick activity to review materials that they have been learning. So this activity helps us match presidents with their term of office, their party, and a quote. So we line up the different categories and press match, and there we go. I'm going to go ahead and get this one incorrect. So it's telling us that these two don't match the key category, which is Abraham Lincoln. What I'll see later is that is where I need improvement. So I see I've gotten 1 out of the 4 matches I need. I've gotten 10 points. And what I've struggled with is identifying parties and quotes, whereas terms so far I've gotten 100%. So let's go through this quickly. Oops. There we go. And here we've got some feedback telling us where we need improvement, as well as a message that's been set up so that a particular range outputs a particular message. So you can either do this, create an activity, an align activity within the template, or you can design a align activity using a .csv file. I'm going to go ahead and create a new activity here. So here's a line. When you create an activity, there are videos and information telling you about the template. And I'll show you in a moment, there's always the Help Center to help you along in your journey or get help if you happen to find a bug. Let's create a new activity, and let's call this one Student Resources. All right. So editing this activity, I could go here and just set up what the category is, add categories, and then add matches by adding items here. You can use images, animated GIFs, you can use mathematical formulas, sounds to make these matches, as well as adding distractors that don't match with anything else. I can also develop align activities using comma-separated values files, or .csvs. So I created this one using a word processing document, or I could have done a spreadsheet program. And as you can see, I set up 3 different categories: problems, resources, and competencies that students might face. Problems they might face, resources that might be able to help them on campus, or competencies that, that using these resources might build on. Going back into Author, if I import the .csv file, it automatically fills up the different entry points, and if I save and preview, by default it lets me review the cards before to see the answers, and lets me match them up. So you can see that creating these activities could be very, very quick and and therefore could be used in all sorts of different places. There we go. Lastly, let's take a look at the Insights template. In this activity, you play a market research analyst who's been hired by a graphic novel company to help recommend which title they should publish next. As you can see, Insights activities take place in a 3D environment where you interact with a number of characters. And in this activity, we're going to review this research. So here's information about the company, information about the two different titles, and different survey results. So demographic, geographic, psychographic, and behavioral results of Kapow Comics readers. Insights activities ask you to take a position and then defend that position. So in this activity, we're going to choose which title they should publish next, and then we're going to have to defend our decision. So if I choose Alien Armada, they're going to say, why did you choose that? And I'm going to be taking down a different pathway of questions depending on how I answered. This capacity to branch in different ways is actually even stronger in SmartChat. You can create many different branches that divide and then reconnect. And you can also return to your research section at any time if you have them in a SmartChat or a Insights activity. To show you just quickly under the hood, we can change the setting where we want the activity to take place. So if it would be more appropriate to have your activity take place in a coffee shop, we can just change that quickly and preview it here. And as you'll see, now the activity is taking place in this coffee shop. Now, as I mentioned, author activities will integrate with to learning management systems like Blackboard or Canvas or Acrobatic or Google Classrooms. But you can also publish activities through Muzzy Lane's ad-hoc assignment functionality. So what you can do here is press publish, and when you do that, it creates a unique ID here. Now, I could send this ID to whomever I wanted, and they would be able to play this activity on any of their devices. Down here, you've got some information that would be useful if you were integrating into the LMS. And here you've got the save and publish history of the activity, who did what when. So let's go ahead and create an assignment in Author. So if I do that, I can choose a group of students that I want to send this out to, so I'll send it to our marketing group. There's a description, and here is an assignment. So now, if I look at the activity, this is the instructor view. I can see my different students, how they've scored. You can actually get a detailed recording, a set of information on how they performed, down to the granularity of how they answered each individual question. You can set the dates when you want the activity to be active, and all of these statistics are going to be filled in. You can also send this URL to whomever you like. More broadly, Author has analytics for administrators showing all of the different activities and assignments and their plays and more information about that. I also wanted to point out that at any point when you're using Author, you can go to the Help menu. We've got a Getting Started section and a Help Center. And if you go here, you'll find a number of different articles explaining how to use the different templates, including a number of videos to explain how to use the different templates. You'll also find some activity planning and development forms that will help you plan and develop your activity. So that brings us to the end of this demo. To recap, I gave you an overview presentation of the scope and vision for Author. Then we went through demos of the SmartChat, SmartPic, Insights, and Align templates. We discussed organization and collaboration, assessment and integration, as well as help resources. If you have any other questions or feedback, please contact me, Jonathan Kreisky, or my colleague, Jeff Fisk. Thanks very much.